I call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Hello.
Councilmember Luis Cabrera,
Present.
Councilmember María Cecilia Cruz,
Present.
Vice Mayor Tadeo Sayel de la Hoya, Councilmember Esteban Rosales,
Present.
Councilmember Leslie Servin,
Presente.
Councilmember Javier Vargas,
Present.
Mayor Nieves Riddell,
Present.
Mayor have a quorum.
Thank you. Councilmember Rosales, will you please lead us?
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3, invocation. Elida Valenzuela, Police Chaplain.
Un antiguo escrito dice, bienaventurada la nación cuyo Dios es el Eterno. Dios Todopoderoso, en esta tarde estamos conscientes del tiempo en que está viviendo nuestra nación, tiempo de inundaciones y guerra que otros están sufriendo. También te rogamos por ellos y te damos las gracias porque nosotros podemos estar aquí. Clamamos por tu presencia y tu misericordia para que muestres tu favor una vez más y tu bien sobre este concilio y sobre cada uno de los presentes. Tómalos en tus manos para que les des la sabiduría a cada uno de gestionar lo mejor para esta ciudad de San Luis, Arizona, y para actuar con responsabilidad de acuerdo al orden y las funciones que cada uno tiene. Te pido por los ciudadanos y los participantes presentes para que juntos podamos hacer de esta ciudad un mejor San Luis, para nosotros y para los que vienen detrás nuestro. Y te pido que les des los ojos para ver tu favor y tu respuesta a estas peticiones. Amén.
Amen. Thank you.
Item number 4, call to the public. This is the time for the public to comment under ARS Section 38-431, period 001I. Members of the city council shall not discuss or take legal action on matters raised during an open call to the public that are not properly noticed on this agenda for discussion and legal action. At the conclusion of an open call to the public, individual members of the city council may respond to criticism made by those who have addressed the city council, may ask staff to review a matter, or may ask that matter be put on a future agenda.
María Robles, 1195, California. Estoy aquí, voy a utilizar mis 3 minutos en algo muy objetivo, que es que trabajemos en equipo por el bien de la comunidad, por el bien de nuestras familias, por las necesidades que de veras tenemos, que no se miran así como que estén en la esquina. Tenemos que trabajar de frente con nuestra gente, la comunidad, para poder palpar esa necesidad en el área de educación, salud. Y hay algo muy preocupante, que tenemos una población de 40,000 habitantes y hemos conversado con bastante gente acerca de si conocen la historia de San Luis, Arizona. Y en un 99.9% no conocen la historia. Se conoce solamente cuando se proclamó en el 1979, cuando andaba yo pariendo a la mayor de mis hijas. Eso es lo que se conoce. Pero le preguntamos a la gente, ¿sabes tú que aquí en San Luis, Arizona, había un vagón de tren turístico que se jalaba con un tractor gigante y llevaba a los turistas a pasear a San Luis Río Colorado? Era el tío Can. ¿Cuándo fue que se le puso el nombre a San Luis, Arizona? Fue en el 1930. Entonces, trabajar en equipo para rescatar esa historia y tener orgullo en nuestras generaciones de conocer nuestros orígenes reales, quiénes somos, de dónde venimos, quién fue el primer desarrollador que hizo unas casitas allá abajo con dinero del USDA. Trabajemos en equipo por eso, cosas que de veras nos engrandecen en la cultura, en el arte. Todo eso conjuntado, estoy seguro que haríamos de San Luis, Arizona, una ciudad bien apetecible para visitar. De verdad, les aseguro que es algo en lo cual de veras nos hemos olvidado. Quizá podamos trabajar en algo para cuando cumplamos el medio siglo, que tan solo faltan 4 años. Así es de que esa es mi invitación y muy pronto estaremos dando buenas noticias por parte de nuestra organización. We Are Somos. Somos una organización no lucrativa que trabaja, les voy a decir con cuánto, $0, 0 centavos. Pero estamos en la lucha. Tenemos 30 y tantos años trabajando en nuestra comunidad de planta, pero yo fui pionera con Amanda Aguirre, el primer grupo de promotoras de salud que estuvimos bien asustados en ese tiempo con la salud reproductiva. Fuimos en el condado el número 1 en embarazos en adolescentes, cuando San Luis, Arizona tenía 30 pandillas y nos pusimos a trabajar bien duro junto con Salomón y el capitán García y logramos que todo eso se revertiera. Entonces, ¿cuál es el resultado de trabajar en equipo? Eso, solucionar los problemas reales. Gracias.
Gracias.
Good afternoon. My name is Luisa Arriola, 3685 East San Pedro Street here in San Luis. One of the, good afternoon, council members and mayor. One of the concerns that we do have in our community that I've been talking to a lot of our veterans, and one of the things they do mention is that we don't have a memorial for them. So I'm coming here on behalf of not all of our veterans, but some of our veterans that I have been spoken, and I wanted to see what we can do as a city and the community and bring a memorial to our veterans in our community. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? If there's nobody else, let's continue.
Item number 5, presentations. Item number 5A, presentation and recognition to Ms. Heather Madrigal for her 23 years of exceptional work, dedication, and support to the city's students, families, and educators at San Luis High School. Ms. Jenny Torres, Acting City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. Could I have Ms. Heather Madrigal come up front? Ms. Madrigal, this is a certificate of appreciation. The certificate is presented to Heather Madrigal in heartfelt recognition of exceptional service, professionalism, and unwavering dedication to the students, families, and educators of the city of San Luis. Your enduring commitment to educational excellence and your tireless efforts in shaping the future leaders of our community. Your legacy of impact, compassion, and leadership is deeply valued and profoundly appreciated. Awarded this 9th day of July 2025 with gratitude and respect, Mayor and City Council. Congratulations.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate this wholeheartedly. And this community, the students here, the families here mean so much to me. And I really, truly do appreciate this. Thank you.
Teacher, would you honor us getting here so the rest of the council can take a picture with you?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Could everybody come and join us?
Okay. Right here. Yeah. All right, big smiles. One more. Thank you.
Item number 5B, recognition to Ms. Alejandra Payan for her outstanding athletic achievements and Mr. Enrique Partida for his work with special needs children and the powerful impact he is making on the lives of his students. Ms. Payan will not be able to be present, nor Mr. Partida. They are both currently in Texas as Ms. Payan is representing USA team. Hopefully, they do bring the gold medal back home. So we will be presenting this item again at the next council meeting. We wish the best of luck to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 6, consent agenda. All matters are considered to be routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item number 7, discussion and possible action items. Item number 7A, discussion and possible action on any and all matters regarding authorization for the purchase and installation of emergency equipment for 6 2025 Ford PI sub vehicles, 3 fully marked and 3 unmarked, using the State of Arizona Department of Public Safety Local Border Support Funds. Damian Miller, Lieutenant.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. The San Luis Police Department is seeking approval for the purchase and installation of emergency equipment to uplift 3 2025 Ford SUVs patrol vehicles and 3 Ford SUV unmarked vehicles. The vehicles will be assigned to the Patrol Division and Criminal Investigation Section to reassign and replace vehicles scheduled to be decommissioned due to the age and high mileage. The equipment and outfit for the 3 patrol vehicles will be provided and installed by Waltz Outfitting LLC using the City Chandler contract, which provides a cost reduction from the state dealership contract. The quote provided a bid in the amount of $104,133.87 for all 3 vehicles. The vehicle uplift includes tax. The equipment and uplifts for the 3 unmarked vehicles will be provided and installed by Arizona Emergency Products, also using the City of Chandler contract, which provides a cost reduction from the state dealership contract. The quote provided a bid of an amount of $58,362.62 for all 3 vehicles. Outfits include tax. The department has decided to use 2 different vendors to the number of vehicles requiring equipment and expedite the delivery time.
Any comments, questions? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve the purchase and installation of emergency equipment for 6 2025 Ford PI SUV using Waltz Outfitting and Arizona Emergency Products for a total amount not to exceed $166,000.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries.
Item number 7B, discussion and possible action on any and all matters regarding authorization to purchase 1 new fully marked and equipped 2025 Chevrolet 1500 Silverado police vehicle using the Arizona Department of Homeland Security Operations Sun Garden Grant Program Equipment Funds. Damian Miller, Lieutenant.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. The Police Department is seeking approval for the purchase of 1 newly fully equipped marked 2025 Chevrolet 1500 Silverado police vehicle. The fully marked equipped vehicle will be assigned for Operation Stone Garden deployments as awarded by the Arizona Department of Homeland Security Operation Stone Garden Grant. The vehicle will be purchased from Chapman Chevrolet of Yuma, Arizona, which has provided a bid of $57,415 for the 2025 vehicle, including tax. We are requesting to purchase a vehicle from Chapman Chevrolet as it is available now and held locally, saving the cost of time and pickup time. We contacted other dealerships, and none were able to provide a quote for the same model. The equipment and outfit will be provided and installed by Waltz Outfitting LLC using the City of Chandler contract, which provides a cost reduction from the state dealership contract. The bid provided is $31,440 with 89 cents to fully equip the vehicle, including tax. The total amount for the vehicle equipment installation total is $88,855 with 89 cents.
Any comments, questions? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the purchase of one new 2025 Chevrolet 1500 Silverado police vehicle for a total amount not to exceed $92,000 and to waive the purchase procedure under the San Luis City Code, Section 305.010F, for the reasoning explained.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 7C, discussion and possible action on any and all matters regarding resolution number 2365, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of San Luis, Arizona, authorizing the allocation of $1,060,100 in local match funds and authorizing the submission of an application to the Federal Transit Administration's fiscal year 2025 buses and bus facilities program. Armando Esparza, Director of Economic Development.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and council members. Tonight, the Department of Economic Development is seeking approval to submit an application to the FDA grant application and approve a resolution to allocate funding, local match funding for this application. Sonia, can you open the presentation? We created a quick presentation. Second attachment. So the FTA announced a program that is geared towards bus and bus facilities earlier this year, and the program really has two components. One is for the purchase and replacement of buses, but it also funds the construction and rehabilitation of bus-related facilities, and it can include transit hubs, parking lots, charging stations, and this covers 80% of the project costs. And the City of San Luis has been working on a project for a downtown park and parking lot with about 475 stalls that, after reviewing the NOFO, would qualify for this project on the bus facility side. This is a $7.5 million project that's fully designed and ready to go. But there's two components of it. One is the parking facilities, and the other is the parks. We met with the city engineer, and we went through the budget and line by line item, and we are able to submit for the parking facilities and some of the pedestrian infrastructure and integrate to the YCAT system. We met with YSIPTA and have gotten a letter of support from the board. We will work with them to integrate transit and their existing routes to this parking facility. And it's projects like this that have been funded in the past in Colorado, Georgia, and also Tennessee. So we believe that we have a competitive application for this project. Again, after reviewing the budget with our city engineer, these are the line items that would qualify for this grant application. We added two additional line items that are not part of the budget. One, we added a 1% line item to redesign some of the components to better integrate with transit. And we also added construction administration, which are all allowed as stated in the NOFO. We are requesting 20% local match, which is $1.06 million in local match that will be coming out of not this fiscal year, but the following fiscal year. Additionally, we ran a couple of scenarios of parking revenue that could be generated from this facility. And just a very simple scenario based on the number of parking slots and, a $3 fee that would be paid per day every time someone enters, and at different occupancy rates, we could make back the revenue within 3 years of this local match based on this scenario that we put together. And again, there's 3 different scenarios that we develop. At the low demand, we can get the local match back in about 3 years, and in the high demand, under 2 years. That's revenue forecast over the next 10 years. That is a quick presentation. Again, we're requesting resolution and approval to submit the application to the FTA and allocation of the local match.
Any questions, comments from council? I have a question.
Yes.
This is, the buses will run around town, or just from San Luis to Somerton, Yuma?
Mayor, that's a great question. This is a connection for the whole system, the YCAT system. We did look at creating maybe like a neighborhood circulator that would run in the community, but the cost is just, it's really expensive to operate a bus. We were looking at different rates, anywhere from like $80 per hour to $120 per hour.
So it is not for the community, it's from here and go back and forth?
Yes.
What we have right now?
It will be for the community, especially if maybe cross-border pedestrian traffic would like to use it. But let's say, for example, the other way around, if someone crosses and wishes to connect to the regional system and leave the car parked here, that's also an option. So it's for everyone.
Okay. Anybody else?
So the Federal Transit Administration on this grant was not affected by the one big beautiful bill that was just passed by the federal government?
This was, that's a good question, Vice Mayor, and we did look into it, and this was announced after all the changes at the federal level and all the memos and the action that came from the administration. There's also an active grant manager that we have been asking questions of, and there seems that the project is moving forward. We also looked at the application and the NOFO, and we think that there's some of the priorities of the current administration on it, so we think it's moving forward.
Okay. And the $25,000 that we're gonna pay Kimley Horn to write the process, it's with this fiscal year, F25?
We split it up between 2 phases. So we started the grant application last fiscal year, and we're going to finish it with funding this fiscal year.
So how much are we paying Kimley Horn? 25 or 50?
No, 25 total. We paid about half last fiscal year, and we're finishing up the application this fiscal year with the rest.
Thank you, Armando.
Anybody else?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to make a comment and a question. The question is did you ask YMPO Director Crystal for a letter of support since it is transportation related?
Yes, we reached out to Crystal, not for a letter of support, but we can if you think it would strengthen the application. We mostly asked about some of the aspects on running bus service, but we went to YSIPTA to get some expertise.
Yes, I highly recommend that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve and adopt resolution number 2365, authorizing the allocation of $1,060,100 in local match funds and directing staff to submit the grant application to the Federal Transit Administration Buses and Bus Facilities Program for the Downtown Park and Ride and Plaza project.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you, Armando.
Item number 7D, discussion and possible action on any and all matters regarding resolution number 2367, a resolution of the City of San Luis, Arizona, Mayor and Common Council, designating the chief fiscal officer for officially submitting the fiscal year 2025-2026 expenditure limitation report to the Arizona Auditor General. Jenny Torres, Acting City Manager.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council, as we've done this annually, the Auditor General, we need to submit a name. Usually it's the Chief Fiscal Officer, who the council would designate to submit our annual expenditure limitation report. So what we're asking tonight is that you designate our Finance Director, Ms. Rola Encinas, as our CFO, in order for her to submit the annual expenditure report to the Auditor General. Do you have any questions?
Is there any questions or comments for Ms. Torres? If not, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor, I
Move to approve resolution number 2367, designated Raula Joan de Encinas as the CFO to submit the annual expenditure report to the Auditor General as presented.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion carries.
Item number 7E, discussion and possible action on any and all matters regarding renewal of the subscription to Westlaw for West Publishing and Thomson Reuters Online Legal Library Search Engine and AI Services for a 3-year contract. Kay McQuill, City Attorney.
Good evening, council members. This is Kay McQuill for the record. This contract is for 3 years. It's Westlaw, which is an online legal library. I use it every day. The upcoming contract, which starts in April, will include artificial intelligence features, which is, it's working pretty well. It's still got kinks, but it's working pretty well at the moment. And so this is just for your approval to go for 3 years for Westlaw. It locks in a price so that we won't have jumps on a year-to-year basis.
Any comments, questions for Ms. Kay? No, none? And then I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to approve the renewal of the Westlaw subscription for 3 years as presented.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Kay.
Item number 7F, discussion and possible action on any and all matters regarding a contract for indigent defense services through an independent contractor. Kay Maroon McQuill, City Attorney.
Good evening, council members and mayor again. This item is an innovation that Judge Danae Figueroa brought to us. I just want to read the statement that I asked her to prepare for me, so I got her insight into this. She has transferred, with the help of Finance Department, of course, sufficient budget to my budget to pay for the indigent defense attorneys. And we went through a RFP process and RFQ process, request for proposals and qualifications, that was open to the public to bid on. And we had an interview process, and we got an excellent candidate, Candace Arduino, and she's here. I'd like to present her once I finish with the presentation. The judge says that she desired to preserve the San Luis Municipal Court's appearance of impartiality and avoid any perception of judicial bias. Compensating for the contracted indigent defense counsel will be administered through the city attorney's operational budget as opposed through the court's operational budget. This shift aligns with the best practices in court administration. In addition, placing any indigent defense counsel on a fixed rate, the request we put out was to give us a proposal for a fixed rate contract. It eliminates the need for monthly invoicing to the court, thereby streamlining the administrative processes. Multi-year agreement with the predetermined payment structure will provide predictability and control over this budget line item, supporting more efficient financial planning. So that is the philosophy behind this change for the city. And we had enough budget for the proposal that came in. So I would like to introduce Candace Orduño.
Josh, can you step forward in case council or the mayor has any questions? This is your opportunity. Thank you. Any comments, questions?
Yes, Mayor, I have a question. Would you guys know the number of cases that used this service, maybe last year's stats?
I can get my court administrator up here who knows those numbers. It takes a village.
Hi. Last year so the fees are $400 flat rate. We just presented last time to increase that rate. And there was an estimate of 350 to 400 cases, depending on the case type. We have seen an increase of case filings that would increase the amount that we would have to pay for these services.
Sounds good, thank you.
Anybody else? Nobody? Okay.
This is Candace Orduño. Would you like to introduce yourself to the council?
Good afternoon, council. Thank you so much for this honor. I really appreciate being able to provide services for the indigent community here in San Luis. I've been doing it for past 5 years, and the court is such a wonderful place to work for, not trying to butter up the judge, but it's an excellent community to work in. The court is very efficient, and me and my staff, I have my paralegal here, Tanya. I also brought my son and my husband so he could see what it's like to have a council meeting. For us, it's an easy fit, and we enjoy working with everybody at the courthouse, and I think we'll be able to continue a really good relationship with the city. So thank you.
Thank you for considering San Luis. It's an honor to have somebody of your caliber working in our community. It's a community with so much needs, especially in that department. And usually when people go to court, they're going through their worst moments, and the customer service that is being provided at these days is outstanding. Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I just want to say here, it has been, in mayor, vice mayor, council members, members of the public, it's been a team effort here. I've been here for over 1.5 years now, and so coming up with innovative ways to, save the city some money, follow statute. It is a right to be represented by an attorney, and so for us to come up with this agreement with the assistance of Kay, Risk, everyone's been so helpful in being innovative, and so I just appreciate everyone's collaboration.
Thank you. Anybody else? If there's nobody else, I would like to entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move to direct staff to contract with Candace Orduño Kraus for indigent defense services for a monthly flat fee not to exceed $114,000 annually.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you so much. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Kay.
I've only talked to Tanya on the phone, so it's nice to see her, the paralegal.
Item number 7G, discussion and possible action on any and all matters regarding ordinance number 467, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of San Luis, Arizona, amending city code sections 10.15.255D, 10.15.205, 10.15.010, and 10.15.990C1 to clarify parking on public land, scope of parking enforcement, and to update definitions and references, repealing conflicting provisions and providing for severability. Kay McQuill, City Attorney.
Good evening again, Mayor and council members. This item takes care of some parking issues we've had. Our code doesn't really provide for disabled vehicles on public lands. The issues have come about mostly on the BLM land where the transmission line is. We do have permission from BLM to use it for parking, but the enforcement hasn't been there due to the language in our city code. So this ordinance takes care of that so that we can remove inoperable vehicles from the transmission line area and any other federal lands where it might happen. A second thing it does is it provides that the person responsible for parking violations is the registered owner. That helps with enforcement of parking violations. The officers don't see who actually parks there, and so putting the responsibility on the registered owner to be responsible for that will help with us enforcing the parking violations. And finally, it updates the city code in this area of the code that had civil rules of court procedure for traffic and standing violations with an old version of the code of the rules of court, and now it has the proper name. And then we also had to match it up with a definition. So it took care of several parking issues in one ordinance.
I have a comment and a question. The question is, when you guys put this together, I assume the police department has been involved on putting this together?
They told me about the problems they were having, and I put it together.
They put an input. They have their input. The comment that I have is that since it hasn't been enforced, even what we have now is going to be enforced, I feel bad for the police department and some of us that people are going to complain with force. Because it's something new, maybe a campaign of letting people know. And maybe the first violation should not be tickets, should be more like, this is what we're doing, and next time is going to be a ticket. And it's just a suggestion, okay? I don't know how the rest of the council feels, but I know we're gonna have a problem in our hands. It needs to be done, okay? Don't get me wrong, it needs to be done, but we need to be aware of the consequences when we make these changes and we don't educate our people. So that's my 2 cents. Anybody else?
Yes, Mayor, I also was contacted by some community members with the same problem, that they have parked their car all the time in front of their house, and now the police is enforcing this law without any previous notice or warning. So it should be okay, or you should take into consideration, you can probably knock the door or something. Just let the people know that we're going to be enforcing this law at this time, and that way we don't have any problems or issues in the future.
Are we going to put some signs up, like if you park here, these are the consequences. I think that's another idea, educating the public. Thank you.
Lieutenant Miller is here.
But one of the problems that we do tag the vehicles first, so they do have amount of time to move them. A lot of these vehicles that are left abandoned, they've been involved in collisions, they've been wrecked, they have no tires, they look really bad. We have a lot of more complaints about residential areas that the people that live there, they don't have where to park. In the BLM, that's all behind all for Family Dollar, all that dirt area. That's actually being used, vehicles that, for people actually exporting vehicles, it's been a problem for the longest time. They are aware of this. We have been tagging vehicles for years now. So they know that we're getting close to actually coming up with something to resolve the solution. So that's what we've been doing. They are getting tagged. We do try to contact the owners as well when we tag them, or they call the police department. We enforce them while they're being tagged.
Thank you. That's the area that I'm concerned. Anybody else?
Councilmember Vargas had a concern about violations in front of the home. That wasn't part of this ordinance, but perhaps you can address that?
Yes, it's the same issue when they have the same thing. They leave abandoned vehicles parked in front of the residents. The only reason they're getting tagged is because they look abandoned. If a vehicle is being actually used on a daily basis, we will not tag them. And actually, when we do tag a vehicle, it's because they have spider webs. It looks abandoned. There's something wrong with it. It's flat tire, been in a collision, or it's getting actually fixed. And most of the time, we do get calls from the actual residents for us to actually tag it or remove the vehicle from there.
Thank you.
And that part of the law isn't new. The only new part is the BLM land.
Vice Mayor, you got a question?
Yes, but still public right-of-way, people can park anywhere, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I can go and park in front of Councilmember Vargas' home and move my car, and I'm not gonna be fined, right?
Absolutely not. The only way we do tag them or get fined is if you actually park in the opposite direction, you impede somebody's driveway, that's when we will cite you or tag you or make contact with you.
So
Or
that-
the vehicle's been there for amount of days, yes.
So that that's gonna remain as usual, I guess. That's
Correct.
my question, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and where it says that with the city, needs to clarify the part where we're defining the owner as a registered owner.
Yes.
That's not the case today? That's,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, mostly because we don't know who actually is driving it. For us, it's a lot easier to actually cite the registered owner. But
Correct.
yes, that's what we currently do, correct.
have citations being dismissed because someone claims that it was, not my vehicle and, not my vehicle.
I wasn't driving it.
I wasn't driving it, yes.
I'm not aware of that with the court. I'm not sure if.
Please, Judge.
Hello, again, everyone. So in terms of, it could be a valid defense, in terms of they can contest the parking violation, and then at that contested civil traffic hearing, they can say, I wasn't the one who did it. I didn't park it. And so that has been a defense that was used.
So to answer my question, citations have been dismissed because of that defense, or?
There have been some, yes. If they can present a valid defense to any type of infraction, then perhaps they can be found not responsible.
Anybody else? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the reading of ordinance number 467 by title only.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries. Thank you.
Mayor, if I could just make one more comment. I believe you asked about signs or someone.
Yes,
on the
I
panel.
did.
The way that we can add more signs is the fire department, the public works, and now our engineer and the police department get together and agree as to where to put the signs. We have received a request from the water users for the transmission line to put in signs about not high profile vehicles not being under the electric lines. But while they're discussing that, they could also discuss signage for the disabled vehicles in that area.
That will be lovely and highly appreciated. Thank you.
Ordinance number 467, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of San Luis, Arizona, amending city code sections 10.15.255D, 10.15.205, 10.15.010, and 10.15.99C1 to clarify parking on public land, scope of parking enforcement, and to update definitions and references, repealing conflicting provisions and providing for severability.
I move to approve and adopt ordinance number 467 as presented.
Second.
There's a motion, a second. All those in favor signifying by saying aye.
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 Any nays? Motion carries.
Item number 7H, discussion and possible action on any and all matters regarding resolution number 2366, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of San Luis, Arizona, approving and adopting the development fees update, declaring it as a public record, establishing an effective date, repealing and conflicting provisions, and providing for severability. Jose Guzman, Director of Development Services.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members. This is the final step of the adoption of updating the development impact fees as required by state law. All the required notices and public hearings have been done. This resolution is the final step for the adoption, and if adopted tonight, the fees will become effective September 22nd. All the information is on the report. Unless there's questions for staff or the consultant, staff recommends approval of the resolution.
Vice Mayor De La Hoya is going to take over because obviously I do have a conflict.
Let's
Please.
note a conflict of interest for Mayor Rydell at 6:47 p.m. With that, are there any questions, comments, or concerns from council?
I do have a question.
Councilmember Cabrera, please.
When was the last time these fees were updated, Jose? When was the last time these fees were updated?
December 2019.
2019. Do you have any questions? Councilmember Zarin.
Yeah, Jose, was there any comments or concerns from any community member about the changes of those fees?
No, we didn't receive any comments or questions. or
Thank you.
concerns.
Councilmember Servin?
I do have a lot of questions, but I don't want to ask.
You don't, or?
I mean, I do, but, well, let me ask one on the parks area. Let me get my notes here. While I was reading through the community parkland incremental expansion, I noticed that we have two parks identified. That's the East Community Park and the Joe Orduño Community Park, totaling 45 acres, right? 45.1 acres. And it says here that the cost per acre is $54,000. And then when it comes to the parks amenities incremental expansion, the existing amenities, we're mentioning 155. The total is about 19 million to take care of all the parks and amenities. Is this including the East Park and Joe Orduño Park once it's fully developed or operating under full capacity? I don't know if you understand my question, but.
So the basically how it works, the process is we do like an inventory of the existing amenities and parkland, and we take in consideration the growth for the next 10 years, and we take out or make the calculation of how many land and how many amenities is going to be needed in 10 years. And we base it on how many building permits we get per year. And that's how the fees are calculated. In regards to parks, That will be included the east and the Yorduño with fully developed.
So the estimated provided of 19 million, what's 18,999 with $500. So I'm rounding it out to 19 million. So that cost is considering that once the East Park is developed and Jorduño, both,
And
that will
addition-
be the cost to maintain the parks.
No, to get additional parkland. So the impact fees cannot be used for maintenance. It can be used to increase the level of service. So that amount is to get more land for parks.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I want to make a note, just to have everything up in the up and up, and I'm sorry, Vice Mayor, I just want to clarify that Councilmember Sabine does work for a developer, and she does have a conflict, okay? So noted.
I don't feel I have a conflict of interest, because what's the definition when I have a conflict? If I earn money or get paid or so, I don't think I have a conflict.
So the development fees are imposed on developers. The particular questions you were asking were about how it works. So I think up to this point, you're fine, but it would be best to abstain and not participate.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask anything about housing or anything like that. I was just more interested about the parks and the development. But other than that, I will abstain for asking more questions, but I am not declaring a conflict. I don't have a conflict.
So noted
Well-
that she's not declaring a conflict, while our legal
That
team
would be,
is telling her that she has a conflict, okay? We either follow the rules or we don't follow the rules.
Okay, to please
so
the
noted.
mayor, I'm going to declare that I have a conflict.
Yes.
We're not going to discuss this. The lawyer is telling a council member that she has a conflict, and we should honor that. If there's an issue that a council member doesn't agree with what the lawyer is telling us, they can discuss it in public. Thank you. Let's continue.
Yeah.
May I speak? Or,
So you shouldn't participate in the vote and the discussion on this item. The particular question you asked was just how it works and how the parks are.
so I'm, okay.
But since you work for a developer, it impacts the developer in how much money they give out
Okay.
to the city. So it does create a conflict of interest, and so for your protection, you should abstain.
Thank you for being so polite.
Thank you, Kay.
Does anyone else have any questions, comments, or concerns?
Yes, I have another question.
Councilmember Cabrera?
Okay, so then if a council member is related to the sales of housings, then should they abstain because they process loans or they represent people purchasing a home?
There is a rule of 10, so I believe for realtors, we probably have 10 realtors. I'm not sure. We don't have 10 realtors. With developers, I don't think we have 10 realtors, developers.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
How about lenders?
Lenders?
No, I mean,
So
if
we
we're
want to
if
make,
we're
we
gonna
want to
be-
make sure, we want to
I
make
just
sure
wanna-
before
we don't
someone gets
step-
upset.
I mean-
Yeah.
We're pretty said we're going to run out.
Like half of the council has conflict here when we're talking about developers. It's just,
Yeah.
come on.
So again,
Come
there's a
on.
rule of 10, so if there's at least 10 in the community that do this type of work, then you could participate. I really don't know how many lenders and realtors there are.
There's more
There's a
than 10.
lot.
There's 800 licensed realtors in the county of Yuma, so there's no conflict.
Okay.
Same with lenders, there's more than 20, so.
I didn't know how close the community in that area was. Thank you.
Okay, so we're good with the rule of 10? Other than that, back to the item at hand. Any last questions, comments, or concerns?
I have another question for Jose.
Councilmember Cabrera?
So, Jose, I know that the attachments on the agenda shared like a 1,200 square feet residential comparison. What happens with like people that want to build an additional room to their house? Like how do these fees impact the people that already have their homes?
So the residential fees are one set amount. They're not based on square footage. The commercial, industrial, those are based on square footage. So if a house makes an addition, they don't pay the impact fees. They just pay the building permit plan review fees.
And is that affected by these new fees? Or is that still remaining the same?
The building permits are the same, the ones that were updated last year or the year before.
Thank you.
Anyone else? With that, I'm going to move to approve and adopt resolution number 23666.
Second.
Was moved by me, seconded by Councilmember Vargas. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Abstain.
Motion carries 5 ayes, 2 abstentions by Mayor Rydell and Councilmember Sedvin. And with that, we're going to go to item number 8, summary of current events. Events by the mayor, council members, and/or city manager pursuant to ARS subsection 3431-02K. Anyone?
I just want to say thank you to our amazing staff for the 4th of July event. I know this is a great teamwork that you guys do to bring the festivities to our community. The event was very well attended, and everyone enjoyed the presentations from the different musical groups. I saw a lot of people having a lot of fun and dancing, so that's always nice. And then the weather was on our side that evening. It was pretty nice and fresh, so it was an enjoyable night. Thank you for everyone that made that possible, and particularly our Parks and Recreation Department. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Councilmember Cruz?
Yes, Vice Mayor. On June 27th, I attended the PEP graduation celebration honoring our incredible farm worker students from Somerton and San Luis, as they have worked so hard to earn their GED. There's about a total of 16 graduates.
Thank you. Councilmember Rosales?
Yes, myself, Councilmember Vargas, Lizette Sedin, and yourself, Vice Mayor, we all went to the Arizona-Mexico Commission. I don't know if you want to speak on your presentation.
Go for it.
It was a great presentation. I was just clarifying the needs of our community along the lines with the new port of entry and roads, and with the imports and exports and everything that is going on with the federal government. Vice Mayor Tadeo made a great presentation, and he was able to present to Governor Hobbs as well. I wasn't there for that presentation because it was a small gathering of specific people who had to do that presentation because of the governor, but it was a lot of great connections, and we were able to talk to our counterparts in the San Luis, Mexico area as well. And then also another thing, this weekend, if anybody has kids, we're giving out backpacks for free through an organization called Gateway to the Heart. So here on Sunday, we'll be here all morning giving out backpacks if anybody needs any. Where? Here at the Jorduna Park.
Thank you, Councilmember. Anyone else?
Yes.
Councilmember Servin?
This morning, Councilmember Vargas and myself, we had the opportunity to attend another groundbreaking for another new business here in town, a juice business. Juices? ¿Así se llama? ¿Sí, juices? We even got to taste them. They're so good. I just want to congratulate again Armando and his team for doing a great job. Even though we're going through a really hard economy and it doesn't look it's going to get any better soon, we're still thriving in San Luis. New businesses are opening almost on a weekly basis, and I think I mentioned this last time. Almost every week a new business open, and that is so good for our community because we're growing and we're learning to be resilient and we're learning to push forward. And again, Armando was there too, and we made sure that the business owner knows about Armando and knows about the programs and services that we offer in the community so we can continue to offer growth and expansion to the small businesses. Again, I congratulate you, Armando, and your team. Keep doing a great job. I mean, I can't wait for all the new businesses that are opening next week and the following week and next month. I mean, this is great. This is good for our community, and it's a good job creation as well. So thank you so much for all the work that you do.
Thank you, Councilmember Servin. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none. Item number 9, executive session 9A. Discussion and possible action to hold an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A3 and 4 on any and all matters regarding the litigation of Getsemani versus San Luis, and consultation for legal advice with the city attorneys in order to consider its position and instruct its attorneys and representatives about the city council's position on contracts that are the subject of negotiations in litigation or in settlement discussion conducted in order to resolve litigation under subsection 4 allowed in executive sessions. And executive session 9B, discussion and possible action to hold an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A3 and 4 on any other matters regarding a June 27, 2025 demand letter on the city and its councilors received from attorney John Garcia representing Mrs. Nieves C. Rydell and Rydell Construction, and the development agreement for Las Quintas subdivision dated August 22, 2001 for consultation for legal advice with the city attorney in order to consider its position and instruct its city attorney and representatives about the city's council position on the development agreement that is subject of the negotiation in pending or contemplated litigation or in settlement discussion conducted in order to avoid or resolve litigation under subsection 4 allowed in executive sessions. With that, I'm going to move to go into executive session at 7:01 p.m. Do I have a second?
Second.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
I do have a conflict on 9B, and I want it on the record.
Okay. There's a,
Thank you.
thank you. So there's a, let's have on the record the mayor Rydell is going to abstain on item number 9B, and it was moved by me at 7:01, seconded by Councilman Vargas to go into executive session. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 If anyone opposes, please say nay. Thank you. Staff members, you're excused to go if you have not been called to stay for one of our executive meetings. With that, thank you everyone else, and thank you for who's
City
listening online.
Engineer, Public Works Director, and Development Services, please stay behind. Thank you.
Okay, at 8:30 PM, I'm bringing this meeting back into regular session. With that, item number 11, I move to adjourn that meeting at 8:30. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Rosales. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 If anyone opposes, please say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone.